So, right, that's working. Great, just checking. So, it's been a while. I mean, it's not been that long, but it feels like it has. So, Happy New Year. So, first of all, thank you if you're here all the time and you've chosen to watch this, because you could be doing anything with your time on this apparent first day of the new year. Feels rather forced, like I always say. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely, used to feel that I didn't wake up until April with the astrological new year. But I would now go one step further and say I don't wake up until the Mayan New Year, which is July sometime. So, and I'm not even kidding. But so yeah, I seriously, just for anyone else that might feel like they move with that sort of energy, because I know that lots of people I've spoken to in sessions do actually feel what I'm saying. So, and that actually, so yes, thank you to my hashtag oldies, nothing to do with age. Those of you that have been here, however long you've been here, some people have followed, my journey, which is your journey too, for 10 years now. I can now say 11 years this year, because that's when I started Crystal Clear Visions. It's not when I started all this work, it's when I made up that name, I might add. I've been doing all this a very long time. So, but for anyone that's new, my name's Claire, not Crystal, and it's an easy mistake to make, but I just like to get that out of the way. And crystals feel like they're a big deal right now, because whenever I use this wee setup, I always just kind of quickly randomly just put, and it's never random, it'll have the energy around the crystals for whoever needs this, however many people will have meaning. But I just scattered them around the candle there. And I'm going to use a crystal deck at some point. I just realised, and it's a crystal, not just any crystal deck, it's a crystal deck I've had for a very long time, at least 11 years, but it's longer than that. And I just happened to notice the one that was right on the top is selenite, which is this one. So, and if you don't know about selenite, which I know lots of you do, so, but for those of you that don't, it's a beautiful cleansing crystal. It's self-cleansing. There's not many crystals that do that, but like, for instance, I've got a giant tea light holder in my living room just behind me there, and like, I like to sometimes just put my jewellery on it and stuff, and it can charge it up. And I used to do all that about, like, charging the crystals under the moonlight and all that. I'm not gonna lie, I don't ever do that anymore. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, just sort of grow out of it kind of thing. But yeah, long story short, it's very good for charging up your cards and your other crystals, or like, if you just feel there's a bit of stagnant energy hanging around your jewellery, because your jewellery does soak up a lot of energy, because you're wearing it every day, and then, like, depending on who you're around every day, it can soak up energy and stuff. I've shared loads of stories before about, hematite rings, hematite bracelets are notorious for breaking really quickly because they're soaking up the negativity. So that, there was one woman I worked with years ago, and I had recommended her to get, hematite, black tourmaline, and it was unbelievable record time that the bracelets kept breaking. But that woman was in, a very dark situation, which thank God every day that she got away from. But anyway, so Happy New Year indeed, but yeah, all that's going to be relevant. So right now, the way that I'm kneeling is very uncomfortable. I just want to make sure that you could see the cards. So yeah, I don't know how long this is going to be. I put on a 30-minute timer, and it looks like I've already spoke for, feels like 10 minutes, but it's saying 3 minutes right now. So let's just get into this, because I'm aware it's New Year's Day. There'll be lots of combinations of people just being busy celebrating the new year. Or if you're anything like what my past self used to be, you would be in some kind of weird foggy days of a hangover for a couple of days. That was really my experience for too much of my life. It's not now. I actually haven't had a drink at all over the Christmas period. So I don't know. When that happens, I feel, so this is going to be relevant too. So I will. So again, if you are brand new and you've landed on this, it's like I say all the time, it's kind of like, I'd rather be somebody's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea. Like, I am in for everyone. And in my opinion, nobody's for everyone. If you're trying to be for everyone, you're people pleasing. And I ain't a people pleaser. Don't know about you, but I'm a reformed people pleaser, and I just teach people to be themselves by me being myself, basically, and accept yourself. And obviously a lot about the Twinflame journey, although I always go like this in January, but because January is about, like, focusing on your goals and, basically focus on your goals and a lot more things, Capricorn season, clearing karma, stuff like that. I'm going to be touching on all these different topics, but the topic of love will absolutely come into it because I can't get away from it. It annoys the hell out of me, but that is my soul's calling. So it's always going to come into it, right? But my focus will be on the themes of like goals and your goals and blah blah blah. Because like I say all the time, oh wait a minute, I need to sit down. The way I'm standing is too annoying. This is what I mean by everything I do is channeling, clearing, and healing energy. I don't know if I got to that bit of intro. That you've got, you know, this stuff, these cards, I'm going to go into why they're sitting there, but everything I do is channeling. I could really just sit and talk for 30 minutes, and trust me, it'll be what at least one or a few people need to hear, and usually it's more than just a couple of people. But yeah, the gist of it as well is like every year when I choose to do these ones in the January, like right from the 1st of January, it's as much for me as it is for you, because I just really don't, like I said, I really, really don't like this time of year. But it's a really good sign when I feel like I've got the energy to get filming these on the 1st of January, because technically after I finish these, hopefully batch videos I'm going to film today, because basically whatever I get done today I'm doing, I'm not going to be filming them into tomorrow and that. It's so that I can relax for at least another week, because I'm not back to clients until the 6th of January, and that's actually only if anyone books. So I kind of more feel like I'll be back to it from like the 12th. Really, it's the 13th because I work Tuesday to Friday. But I will be doing Mediumship Monday, I'm pretty sure, on the 5th of January, because it's a Leo moon. So also, if you've come across this not in real time, don't kind of discount it because I'm saying it's the 1st of January 2026. This could actually make sense to you whenever. So just ignore the affirmation. Well, don't ignore the affirmation because it can be relevant for whenever, especially because I've actually covered, I don't know if you can see that, but it's covered over the date. I've just read these affirmations. Wait a minute, is that even today's? Yeah, it is. I've read these affirmations, like, again, for like it's got to be the past decade or something. So it's just kind of something I've done all these years, and I do it in the shorts every day. But sometimes I feel guided to do it in these bigger videos, and I felt guided to do it. So, yeah, with all that being said, I'm just going to read a little bit about selenite. I was going to read these at the end, but the keywords are connection, clarity, and manifestation. And now that's interesting. However, it also works with neutralizing Mercury, aligning the central nervous system, and helping us accept connections to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. So that's making me laugh, because it's a weird way of them reminding me that today it's the Mercury and Sagittarius is at the anaretic or chaotic degrees, I like to call it. So watch you don't put your foot in it, basically. That's very blunt, very humorous, very, yeah, tell it like it is kind of energy, and very unpredictable, being that 29th degree. But with it squaring Neptune and Pisces, like, which we're in, just remember that's the big thing about this year, is Neptune and Saturn, and not too long away from now. Neptune will be in Aries, I think it's the 26th of January, and then Saturn will be in Aries to join that on the 13th of February. Now, sometimes when I'm channeling quickly, I might mix those up, but I'm pretty sure that is right. I can't be bothered checking either. It is. Saturn's the one that's February. So, but yeah, until then, we're in a bit of a daydream, which might not feel very nice. And that's, basically that square today, which creates that tension. That's what it's like, because, Mercury's communication, and Neptune is dreams, intuition, psychic stuff. But the shadow side of Neptune is lies, confusion, illusion, what's real, what isn't. What kind of springs to mind as well, we're in a Gemini moon as I'm filming this, and we were on, New Year's Eve yesterday as well. That's gossip. So, there could be, I could definitely imagine scenarios where, like, what's real, what isn't, or what even happened last night, I was so drunk, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So like I'd said, I hope that people had a nice Christmas and stuff like that. Oh God, I don't know. See, now it's like I didn't really want to get into a big massive story time. But yeah, just the long and short of that is, it is a miracle that I'm actually having energy to film anything or batch film these, you know, because but trust me, this'll make me feel better. I've actually not started to feel better until today. So that's been a whole week really that I've needed to recharge, and I'm not recharged fully. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna film these and then, you know, get back to my own time, which really I just want to chill, because it's not like I haven't socialised loads, but for those of you who don't know, I had a like, oh God, it was just horrible. Yeah, I had a really horrible moment in the wee early hours of um Christmas morning, which, you know, in the observing way that I like to do, you know, that we're just a soul having a human experience. I do find it kind of funny that it's like, it would be me that goes into that much pain that I need to phone the 111, which is like the emergency number here for those of you in other parts of the world. It wouldn't quite be, put this way, right? For those of you in America, your 911 is our 999, right? But when it's not like a total extreme emergency, there's another number that you can call, which is 111, but it's still an emergency, especially when it's like a high intensity day like Christmas Day, because obviously that's why I held off and I was trying to like persevere. So there's going to be a meaning to this. Remember what I said? I don't need to use the cards. This is just for the people that are new. So if you're not got the patience to listen to this, and Capricorn's about patience, we're in Capricorn season, then you don't need to hang around and listen, right? This is for people that get this. But I knew that the lesson for myself was, hang on a minute, I'm in excruciating pain. Absolutely, you know, my mum or dad would have answered the phone. I have got friends that would answer the phone too. You know, one of my best friends said, you know, if anything like that ever happens again, you can call me. It's like, I'm that friend, basically. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm that friend. I'm like, look, if anything, you know, I'm that friend that somebody calls at 3 in the morning, right? And I've never really been very comfortable with being the person that phones someone else at that time in the morning, you know. And it's kind of like, I'm not one, and also I'm not one of these people that's like, you know, teaching everyone else to love themselves and, you know, all this kind of, and then I'm treating myself like crap. No. For a long time, yeah, that was the case. But for a long time, no. I love myself unconditionally, and I look after myself, and I, you know, fill up my own well before I help others and all that. But that is the one thing that I don't, you know, I just feel that's ingrained in my personality. Like, yes, I'm an Aries, raw and real, very raw and real person, channeler, you know, all these different things, healer. But my Aries sun soul sits in the house of Virgo, which is being of service to others, but it's also kind of like very polite and wouldn't really want to bother people and stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, it's quite an interesting mix of I would have to be practically about dying, I think, before I done that. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I was in a lot of pain. But yeah, to put it aside, I done the right thing, because like I'm saying, none of my family or friends wouldn't have been able to do anything, and I would have had to do that anyway. So I'm really proud of myself, and I'm glad that I did call that number. And long story short, like I'd put in the post, the woman was brilliant, and it kind of might make me cry, because the one thing I took from it was, well, like what I'm saying, when you're in pain, whether it's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, those who are worried about debt and stuff like that, reach out for help. You know what I mean? Like, even if that is just praying out to the angels and your guides. And, you know, I've had loads of miracles like that where I've been crying on my kitchen floor asking for a miracle, or I like to pray and thank God before stuff even happens and that. And I have had miracle turnarounds. But, you know, actually reach out to people, you know what I mean? Like, reach out to professionals, or if you're not in a financial place, like, go on YouTube, and there's loads of people that are putting out help for free. I'm just one of them. But always just use your discernment. But anyway, yeah. So that's it basically. You know, it was quite traumatizing, but talking of praying, while I was on the phone, I was praying really hard, and I was like, please lift the pain. It took me about half an hour to get through to the actual nurse. You know, it was the other woman that was dealing with the call. talk about patient. She was patient because, you know, she just needs yes, no answers. And I kept like going into detail, and she's like, Claire, I know you're in pain, but could you just, honestly, that's quite funny. So when I got through to the nurse, she was brilliant. And like, because I feel more people, I don't know about more, but a lot of people connect more with what the main message for that was through my voice. Rather, some people actually, because I have got people that I help that say, "Oh, I love when you write stuff and that." But for the people that like, you know, for me to say it, what was quite moving was when I was like, "Oh my God, you know, believe it or not," I said, as soon as I've got on the phone to you, the pain has actually just completely gone. Like, I said, I'm walking up and I'm walking about and it's gone. And like, I've been in agony for like 2.5 hours, and like, you know, nothing was working. And I was really worrying it was my kidneys because of where the pain actually was and everything. And basically, yeah, I was like, can I just get off the phone, because I'm really worried about people that are like, you know, really struggling, and you know, with mental health and that, and that, you know, that like I said I'm a healer and I'm a therapist and stuff, and I know how much, you know, people, if they haven't got anyone, they need to talk to someone. And she was like, Claire, can I just assure you? She was like, all those people will get to speak to somebody, and it's not actually as busy as what you might have imagined. And like, basically, it just was, you matter too. And I just thought, how, you know, talk about earth angels. Like, see, that does make me a bit upset. Like, I was definitely paired with the right nurse, because she was like, this is, you know, you're in this context, like, you're the patient, and you know, you are, like, you deserve to get what it is you need right now. And I was just like, because I was just worried about, you know, it was more, my concern was because I'd done that huge big fast, which was so, like, again, I've already spoke for 20 minutes, but whatever. So beneficial, you know, like, yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been fasting for years and years, and I always get so much out of it. But putting all that aside, because I've done separate videos on that, and if anybody does want support with stuff like that, you know, you can book a personal session, or I feel I'll talk about more like this in the membership if they want to talk about that when I get back to work and stuff. Um, but you know, it is very important you use your common sense. Like, I didn't just wake up one day and decide not to eat for a week, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That's I wouldn't say it's stupid, but it's not wise to kind of just sort of jump right into that. Like, you know, start somewhere and build up. But for me, like, 3 days doesn't even touch the edge, guys. But that's not for everyone, by the way. A lot of people could have huge health benefits from doing a 3 day fast. It just wasn't really doing anything for me. And so when I've done the week, so I definitely will do that, at least quarterly or something. But anyway, but the main point was, because I'd only just gotten back to more sort of solid foods, and I'm not big on painkillers whatsoever. I got rid of all that out of my system, because when I was younger, I used to take paracetamol and ibuprofen like I was going out of style, and it just doesn't work. I just don't feel the benefits. So I have to be in a lot of pain before I do something. But for those of you that I've shared that, basically, long story short, like, my period pains are excruciating cramps. I'm just basically in agony for days, and it's horrible. Which is what that was all about too, by the way. That was the build up to that. Basically, I don't like to tell people when I'm fasting. I tell you after, and I don't also tell people when I've got my period. But I can tell you after, because it doesn't come very regularly. So I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, but also, you know, it's kind of interesting, because as I'm channeling this now, I do know as well, it is because I'm one of the divine feminine shamans that I can hold so much pain for the planet. That, yeah, you know what I mean, that's what it's about too. But obviously, I'm not going to go into all of that on a call with the emergency hotline kind of thing. But I know that, you know what I mean. But it just shows you how much pain I was actually in, because it takes me a lot to not just. It's not so much suck it up, like, I just sort of be still and transmute it. Like, it was because I just could not get comfy whatever way I sat. And then what's interesting, another side note, if you're new to me, other people know this, I tune in to basically the soul family. So anyone that's watching this, whether you've been here a long time or not that long, I tune into people's pain, right? So you'll see that in the live, that sometimes I've been in agony with back pain or stomach pain or whatever, and I'm like, right, I need to find who this is, and then before it fucks off, basically. And if it's a time when I'm not working, like just now, I'll just like sort of put it out energetically, and usually I will get that, they'll tell me, I'll get some kind of indication, and keeping it anonymous. But I did something like that happened recently too. I did sort of notice connections. Well, I noticed ones where I was talking to someone, and well, like I'd shared, there was one of the soul brothers. He actually had been in agony with back pain, and then he saw my post. The first time, that was the first time it was sore, wasn't it? And so, like, I don't feel that was an isolated case. I feel when he acknowledged that for me, that was definitely highlighting. I feel there's a lot of men in particular, those of you that are going through that Kundalini awakening, it can cause a lot of back pain. But then there's somebody else on top of that. Another man in the community was not feeling well as well, and I feel I've been sensing a lot of the stuff that person's got. So it's just really nuts. It's kind of nuts too that it's like, well, I don't know, I was going to say it's nuts that it's guys I'm picking up on now, not so much that, but nah, it's not at all, actually, because I channel divine masculine energy, and these are divine masculine. I channel divine feminine and divine masculine energy. But anyway, blah 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 blah. Let's just crack on with this, because I've already spoke for ages. But the main message there was, don't struggle alone and reach out for help, because although the pain went away, and the point is, I know that a lot of people get this, I got it right away. The pain fucked off as soon as the nurse came on the call, because the lesson for me was, like, not to have, like I'd already sat there for like, I mean, I was in so much pain. I don't know what, I think it was 2 hours at least, but I might go on 2.5 hours. Basically, the lesson for me was I could have like stayed, I could have like passed out the pain, or like, kind of, just cried off through the night, no done anything about it. And it was because I actually done that, oh yeah, because that's what I was basically saying. It was because I have got these painkillers for the period pain when it's really bad, and I don't like to take them a lot because they're really strong, and I just don't, it just feels dodgy how strong they are, full stop. But when I'm in that much pain, I'm like, fucking give me it. As much as I don't like pills and everything, I'm like, give me it, And that, like I said, I hadn't taken any like that for years, and but I just didn't fancy taking them when I'd only just got back to eating. But the nurse was very reassuring and stuff, and but yeah, that's what it was. It was because I'd reached out for help. The pain, God was like, right, we'll take away the pain now. You know what I mean? So that's my personal life lesson. Is I've shared this loads of times over the years. It's amazing that I can clear people of like excruciating pain they've had for years, decades in some cases, or emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, because I'm good at financially, I'm good at praying for people and they get money, blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. Like, I can help people like that in a lot of cases. But for me, it's not that simple. Like, and it keeps me humble, and I always know that it's like, yes, there's some things I can pray about and call on the angels and God, and the pain will lift if I'm patient. But other things, it's not that easy, and it's about me getting that help for myself. And I also do like the whole minimum when I do stuff like that for myself, whether it's online or offline, because, well, I'm allowed to have some stuff to myself, but also because there's evil eye, people that send negative energy and stuff. But I had got a lot of healing for myself when I was off in October. And I feel like had I not done that, actually, I probably wouldn't have been as strong as what I've been to get through what has been, oh, that's miserable. Yeah, a really horrible Christmas, New Year. I'm not going to lie to you. It's one I would rather forget. I've not had one this bad in quite a few years. Yeah, unfortunately. And like I said, it was just overshadowed by that happening and just being so exhausted. But I got out for a nice lunch with my best pal. I was like Bamboo on ice, because I didn't have a lot of energy, but she always just cheers me up. Just being around her heals me, basically. And And like she was quite happy. She was like, "We don't need to go anywhere. We can just sort of chill." And I was like, "Nah, I want to get out. I've been looking forward to it." And the food was nice. Um, and then one of my other best pals came up the next day too. So like I said, that's that's really nice because a lot of the time I don't see. Well, I usually see my best pal, but a lot of the time, I just usually see her because I don't know, Christmas and that's always just been about spending time with my family. But I actually haven't, when I'm feeling a bit stronger, I'll need to go and see my family because I'm just not feeling it at all. Like, um, so sorry, that's a bit depressing, but I'm just being honest. And I haven't actually spoke for 25 minutes. Let's just put a wee bit more in the time. This might end up being an hour or so. Whatever. I wanted it to be 15 minutes, but whatever. I'll trust that maybe somebody needs to go to sleep or something and listen to me going on about that. But yes, thank you if you were keeping me in your prayers or sending me love, and because yes, we all need that, and I'm grateful for you guys. I know that people are grateful for me too. Right, so let's get into this. So, Thursday, January the 1st, 2026. But like I said, this can be for any day. The turning point in my life has come. I'm open and receptive to having a future I love. Wait a minute, I still can't really see. Yeah, right. So we'll just put that out of the way now. Oh yeah, so when I was talking about the Mercury square there to Neptune, it's great for what I'm doing right now, like channeling and any kind of spiritual healing work and just having amazing dreams and epiphanies and stuff. But what's not good for is muddled communication and mix up and stuff like that. So yeah, you could just feel a bit out of it really. Like I said, I'm not a good example for that because I just feel out of it anyway. Like this is the best I've felt since Christmas Eve, because that's the thing. Like I said this in the post, but I think I said it in the post. But I was feeling really great on Christmas Eve. Like I was cooking for like 2 hours, which might have been what triggered the back pain too. I mean, there's a lot of things that have triggered it, but um, yeah, and it was only when I sat down from like making not so much making the trifle because that was pretty quick, but that did go well down. That did go down well in my family. Um, it was these jalapeno twist pastry things I was really proud of. And I was giving Mother Base Pal the recipe. Actually, I gave them. Oh yeah, I don't know if I sent it to their one, but I was saying to them, I was like, these are quite impressive and they're really easy to make. But yeah, and it was just like I said, it was when I just sat down to watch the last Bridget Jones, and it was like, oh my god, like it was just crazy the pain. I'm not going to forget that for a long time. It was horrible. So yeah, anyone else that goes through that kind of back pain, I'm sending you my love and prayers because that is just like I'm saying. I'm not even getting. It was traumatizing, and that's what I mean. It's like I've not had that back pain since, but I've just been so like it fucking wiped me. I've been so fucking exhausted. I lost basically from Boxing Day to when I went out with my best pal. All those days are a blur to me. Like I was just basically in my bed, like you know what I mean, like. And then yeah, because I just I saw like I said, I saw my best pal, my other one on the on the 30th there. Because it just feels like it was yesterday. But I mean I suppose it was only 2 days ago. Like I was like, oh yeah, totally come up, but I'm gonna be in my jammies. But she's used to be in my jammies anyway. And that was like I said, that really picked my energy up seeing her too. But like when my friend was just asking, like actually it was the two were just texting me asking me how I was and that. I'm like, I just yeah, that was like a very, very quiet new year, and that's what I wanted, and I'm glad I done it that way. Do you know what I mean? And thank God it wasn't actually that rowdy round here either. So I don't know. I wonder if other people had similar kind of, I don't know, like a quieter. I feel it was meant to be that way too. It's a shame that what's led to me having such a quiet new year. But I feel it was all orchestrated a little bit so that I didn't drink as well. A lot of these dramas happen so that I don't drink. So anyway, just sharing my randomness, which you never know who that might make sense to. Um, And by the way, I don't hardly ever drink anyway. Like, a lot of times I don't drink in a year at all, or I drink like once in the festival, and I often don't drink at Christmas in the year, but I had planned to. So that's why I'm laughing. It's like I actually had planned to, but it just worked out. It wouldn't have been sensible at Christmas because I just finished the fast. And then it's not been sensible since because I've been fucking recovering. So, and now I'm not going to do it now. Do you know what I mean? And I could, because lots of people are still getting pissed and that on it, but I'm like, nah, that's far from what I want to do because I'm just trying to get my energy back. So, talking of that, let's get on with this. So, this fell across my path. This is a bit of a long story. I'll try and make it short. Years ago in a mediumship circle, I was given a message that at some point I would be ascending so much that my whole friendship group would change near enough, or, you know, majority of them, because of my spiritual development. And actually, to be exact, I think that was 10 years ago this year. Yeah. Maybe even 11 years ago this year. 10 years? No, maybe 9 years, something like that. 10 years, I'd say. And I was like, no, you know what I mean? Because I just was all about my friends and, you know, didn't want anything to change and all that. And long story short, yeah, that message was spot on and that did happen. And even with people I'd thought would be by my side until I was old and grey, well, none of them are. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I say none of them, like, some of them, I have still got some of the same friends, but a lot I haven't. So I don't know who that's going to mean something to, but I feel there could have been big changes in friendship, or you're just ascending further than what you thought you did. You know, you're ascending in the way of outgrowing situations. You know what I mean? Your consciousness, right? Time, Capricorn season. Capricorn, Saturn is about time, karma, stuff like that. Schedule a sacred date yourself. You deserve time for your life. So again, I feel that's like in amongst, like, you know, my story time there, which I didn't mean to do, but like I've said before, shamans are storytellers anyway, right? And some are more than most. And I'm one that's more than most because I'm a Sag moon, and Sagittarius moons are storytellers too. Whenever I come across others online as well, I'm never surprised if they happen to mention they're a Sagittarius moon, because it's like, you know, it's just something that I personally feel our souls like to do. But yeah, so anyway, so I'm not apologising for that, basically. You either get it or you don't. But see, that's Sagittarius, that's the 29 degrees Sagittarius, actually. That's very blunt, but also Capricorn is, you know, quite blunt as well. And because my third house is Capricorn, it can be like that. But yeah, I feel it's about making time for you. You know what I mean? So like I said, after I was going to film quite a few of these videos, but I don't know how many I'll get done, but I'll get however many done that I'm feel guided to. But I feel it's about, yeah, make time for you. You know what I mean? Release toxic attachments. So I'm going to shuffle these again, but these were the ones that grabbed my attention. Like, you know, one fell out and then mum was round the wrong way, and it's like, that does feel like with what I'm feeling into. So release toxic attachments. Toxic ties drain your energy, cut the cords and reclaim your freedom. So actually, wow, that really fits with that, particularly if it was around friendships, you know, that have fallen apart. But it can be any kind of relationship, it can be romantic too, because especially because the shorts for today, I mean, I remember I filmed them on the 12th, but I remember being like, oh, well, that's the good and the bad thing about being a seer. I was like, I don't think this is going to be a very good Christmas and New Year for me personally. And yeah, I would say that was pretty accurate from what I've, you know, like, they don't need to tie in with the shorts, but the general energy, you know what I mean, was, yeah, it's not real. Yeah, anyway, but yeah, that first message for today, and they're all timeless, but the one for today was about release your ex. So like I explained, that can be energetically, you're still carrying around the trauma from past relationships, or that could be some of you are you're in toxic attachments that you need to free yourself from, which doesn't need to be romantic, especially with that story about the friendship thing, because like I say all the time, that's where I'm I find it a bit more, well, not more interesting, but I might be a bit more interested in that way, that if it's relevant, I will talk about experiences I've had in love like that. But more so than not, it's not going to be love really. You know what I mean? It's other karmic situations I've had that I've had to, like, basically untangle myself from. So Clear entangled karma. Every relationship holds lessons. Break free from the karmic ties that no longer serve your growth. So I don't know what. I'll keep them. I don't want to keep them aside because let's just in case. What's that say? I don't know where they are. Also, someone's inner child might be crying out because there's a kid crying outside, so that's always part of it. Yeah, so these were just ones that grabbed my attention. Enjoy every moment, start of the year, you know, make the most of your life, especially don't stay in things like that if they're holding you back. Fall in love with looking after yourself. There's a bit of a theme here with that one, talking about schedule a date with yourself. Be bold, italic, never regular. Yes, this is your soulmate. That one's been AWOL from the deck that I use all the time. So I feel that's about, this could be somebody working out. Yeah, you know, the person from the past that you're getting pulled back to isn't the karmic person. The person you're with is the karmic person. I feel that's very specific to some people. So don't take that on board if it's not you, right? Because you've got to use your common sense. But I do feel that is for some, it's that old chestnut someone's got confused. So recovery, and then I remember always fear wins or freedom wins, and I choose freedom. So right, I'm going to use these cards anyway, but it was just these were ones that fell. God, that kid's going for it, aren't they? Right. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. I think you might though, because the way I'm sitting, you might be able to hear. Oh, help that wee baby stop crying. Whatever's wrong with him. Oh, she got even louder, or he. Right, where is that deck? That deck. Oh, there it is. It's sitting right there. So something was sitting right in front of your face, because that was actually sitting right in front of the face. So let's give them a wee shuffle. So, holy shit, man, this is so much longer than I meant it to be. I'm not going to get all the rest filmed, but whatever. Right, so I think there is something about time here, because really, it doesn't matter how long this is. It's just because I'm like, I wanted to make it a bit shorter because it's New Year's Day, and you know, I'm sure people have got better stuff to do, but actually, you know, they're just reminding me, some of you actually might be grateful. Oh my god, I'm wanting not to talk about romance, and that just fell out. I'm not even using that deck. Romance. Some of you might be grateful for this, you know, because especially some of you that live alone and that you might be quite bored and looking for something to listen to. So I'll assume it might be that. I'm going to shuffle. I wasn't, see, because that's fell out too. I'm going to shuffle this because this is the one with false twin flame, and I actually only just put that back in the deck because it was kicking about. With everything that I've just said, for the few people that might be relevant to, yeah, divine feminine, but it's in reverse. That's exactly what I've basically said. Someone's realising someone is not their divine feminine. Or you can change the word, and it's just basically, this is not my queen, you know, this is not a person, this is not, or this isn't right anymore. Fast track to ascension. Wow, that makes sense now. You know what I mean? Like, you're ascending really quickly and realising this isn't right because I can't speak my truth and I'm in a dark place. Oh god, this is a karmic relationship. Releasing the past. Wow, yeah. So you know what I mean? Like, that's when I said, you know, unfortunately a lot of people might not break up. Oh my god, that's creepy. That's a creepy thing about channeling. I meant to say wake up. I did not mean to say break up. Wow. What I meant to say, but that's not a mistake. What I meant to say was, a lot of people might not wake up to the karmic relationships, romantic, friendship, family, otherwise, until Saturn and Neptune go into Aries in a few months. Well, sooner for Neptune. But I said break up, so yeah, that's going to be relevant for whoever too. Right, okay, so now this is where I just wanted to start it simply, but nothing is ever simple. So, well, things can be simple, but restore mind, body, spirit. This is the karmic issue. Notice it came out reverse. True healing happens when you align mind, body, and spirit, reconnect to your essence. So because that came out reverse, I feel you might feel a wee bit all over the place. Now, whether that's to do with, if it's very specific to today's astrology, with the Mercury, Neptune square, you're just feeling a wee bit out of sorts, or whether that is a more ongoing thing of being in a dark night of the soul or something like that. This is about balancing your mind, body, spirit. Now, the thing is, what I also didn't say was a few years ago, I forgot I didn't, so I mustn't have done it last year. But I done something else, I just didn't call it that. But a couple of years ago, I done in January, I done like something called Healing the January Blues. And it's in a playlist. And like, you know, not loads of people would have watched it, but see the people that did watch it, like it literally got somebody through grieving for a family member. And like I've said this before, but I'll never stop saying it. It was one of the nicest emails I've ever received from someone. And yeah, I'll never forget it. And it really just stressed to me how important it is that, you know, that this work that I do. So I'll just sort of leave it at that. But so this is the same kind of idea, you know, that it's like, I don't like this time. And, you know, when two of my best friends, they were just asking how I'm like, you know, I'm just like, I really just want to get back to my work. You know what I mean? Like, and I love my work. But I know that you do have to balance work, rest, and play too. So, you know, and I'm even when I'm working really hard anyway, it might look like I'm doing stuff every day. I'm not really, because I might not have clients that week, and if I filmed them all in the one day, do you know what I mean? I can do, you know, I'm quite good with a time like that. I'll kind of film them all in bulk, and that's really what this is all about. But yeah, the point is like me having a focus of doing this, knowing that it's going to help me to just channel out all the energy, because it's not a coincidence. Like I was just saying to my friend earlier, like I'm just not feeling too good, and I think she thought I meant like, you know, like upset and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's not actually that. I actually didn't feel very well. You know what I mean? Like I felt a bit ill, a bit nauseous and that. And that's because when I don't channel the energy out, I get ill. So I can honestly see, even just talking for those, well, fucking hell, 40 minutes, I feel a lot better. So but what I don't want to do is I don't want to be filming something, you know, in real time every day up until I'm back to work on like Monday. Like fuck that, you know what I mean? And like I'm saying, like although I'm going to be doing mediumship Monday on the 5th, I don't actually think I'll be back properly working with people until the 13th. But whatever. Right? Okay. So I know a lot of you will feel me too. Do you know what I mean? I get a lot of. I don't see this as work. I love it. You know what I mean? But I also love my weekend. I love when it hits Friday night and I'm not, you know, and I switch off from work until the Tuesday really. But I do love this. Right, okay, so which is a good job. So let's crack on with this. So that's the thing, is that, oh yeah, that's why I was saying that. I called it Healing the January Blues, but then I don't think I called it that any other years, because it just felt appropriate that year, and I know that that person would agree, but it felt appropriate for me too that year. And then I called, I don't know what I called it, I don't know what I'd done last year, but I was quite on the ball last year too. I wanted to start filming right away, but I'm more kind of like, this is more of a focus on weight release, and I call it weight release because once you lose the weight, you don't want to find it. Side note, common sense: if you are underweight and you need to put on weight, that's a different ball game. And I could help you with that too. I can help people with food trauma and weight release and everything like that. But this isn't just about physical weight release. But it's about that too, if you want it to be, right? But because like I've not made a secret about it, that like that I've been on a mission for years and I've just gotten somewhere with that by doing that fast. And also I didn't get too ahead of myself, because you lose what you lose at first is water weight. You can put it back on, and it's like I've put it back on a little bit, but I don't know, I'm still trying to work it out, because when you've had your time in the month, you put on loads of weight anyway. So, but I'm not worried about it, because basically I feel like I've cleared enough of the crap out my system that I've cracked the code for my own body. But like I said, that's taken me years. If I don't stop until I get the answer for myself or someone else. I don't know if you've noticed that, guys. I'm being sarcastic. If you're around here all the time, people are like, oh yes, we have psychic detective. But yeah, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be focused on all levels, because whenever I do anything in all of my work, I like to focus on the spiritual, the mental, emotionally, physically, and financially. Financially is paired in with physically, but so that's how we're going to do this. That's how I've done. That's how I've done the other things that I've done, the themes and stuff. So we're just going to do that. And like I said, if you do want personal one-to-one help in my packages, or if you want a session that's about releasing, the past year, but you can do that session whenever. The train journey is a good session. I'll put that in the comments. Or my package of either 4 sessions or 3 sessions. But yeah, let's just crack on with this. So spiritually, now it's very hard for me to kind of niche it down to what cards to use, because there's so many different ones I want to use. So I'm just going to see what my hands go to out of ones that I've put for the different sections. So this won't resonate with everyone. So like I say all the time, please use your fucking common sense. If this makes sense to you, great. If it doesn't, well, at least it gave you something to listen to, and thank you however long you listen. And if you, by the time this goes up, you should be able to hype it. It's only when it's alive you can't hype it. And for reference, if you ever want to hype my video after you've watched a live, please go back and press the button like a day or 2 after, because it'll be there. But yeah, you should be able to hype this. You can definitely like it if you like it, and comment and all that. Side note, I probably won't be getting back to the comments until the 5th or the 6th, but I might. If it's the weekend, I won't, because we're coming up for the Cancer full moon, and I at least want to film that one today. But anyway, we'll just see. So what have we got? What for the spiritual theme? Now this has got questions, and it's got these are dream cards. So with how much I went on about Neptune and oh my god, and it's the wolf moon. Oh my god, I love it. The lost for words. In 2 days on the 3rd, it is the wolf moon, which, because it comes around so quickly, I often forget that. But yeah, full moon in Cancer, family, soul family, and we're a wolf pack soul family around here, but it's the wolf moon. So this is going to be quite a big one for a lot of you that feel as connected to the wolf as I do, and I know that's a lot of you. So what are you running away from? What is making you feel overwhelmed? What are you afraid of or unwilling to face? Wow. So remember that was upside down. So basically, whoever's connecting with this, you're getting really called out. Oh, also another side note, the wolf to me in particular, when we're talking about divine feminine, divine masculine energy, that is my inner masculine energy. So I always see the wolf as the masculine energy and the tiger as the feminine energy, regardless of your gender. So this could really speak to specifically the masculine male or females out there. It doesn't need to. It can be the feminine's masculine side as well. But yeah, what are you running away from? What is making you feel overwhelmed? And what are you afraid or unwilling to face? That's relevant because the full moon in Cancer is the 4th house. Cancer energy is hidden stuff. It's trauma. It's and remember that card that was kicking about, also the 4 of Swords, said recovery. So I do feel some people are in recovery from some kind of trauma. Now again, look at the connections with what I was saying. It might not be trauma in the sense of really juicy stuff, but that was traumatic for my mind, body and spirit. Like at that, I basically believe I have just recovered from shock. Like I feel I'm okay now, but that took me a whole week to come out of that. Bear in mind the pain stopped as soon as I was on the phone, but it's just I've just been, yeah, like I said, I was in shock, I feel. So yeah, so these are feelings that can be very connected to this full moon, because I keep saying feelings. Cancer is feelings. Cancer 4th house is feelings, but this can be repressed and suppressed feelings coming up to the surface. So stuff that you've been consciously, actively pushing down, might not be able to do that, and it's right in your face, because the full moon is like a massive torch illuminating, in this case, those hidden feelings. Could definitely be pulling up a lot of family stuff, because it's a full moon of family. I'll use those cards when I get onto the Cancer full moon video. And lastly, what are you afraid or unwilling to face? Well, that's going to be different for different people, but I feel you could be feeling really out of sorts because of that coming out in reverse. So I'm now going to put that there just to remind me. Oh, I'm feeling very organised. This is very Capricorn. I've got my wee, you can't see it, but I've got my wee card holder there. You see? Oh yeah, you can see the edge of it. So, right. So, I think we need another one for the spiritual. So, now that's not meant to be there, but it feels relevant. Right to choose immunity hooks. Because it talks about hooks, I always see that card as like, you're a sovereign being and you can unhook yourself from the situations that are draining your energy. So that fits with that card at the start. Because, yeah, I wasn't even using them. So this is going to be a wee message from the spirit world or in general, or it might home in being more specific. Let's just see. Symbols. So I feel like it's more of a general message that if you've been praying, putting out, you know, prayers or intentions to your guides, angels, ancestors, loved ones, and spirit, and I'd advise you to do that in time for Monday, every Monday, because that's when I will show up and do Mediumship Monday, which the clue's in the name what that's all about, and I do that live. There's a chance, I think I will be doing it live on Monday, like the 5th of January, but there's a chance it might not be live and there might just be a video, but we'll just see. But yeah, so look out for the signs. So any of these, an anchor, a clover, rainbow, butterfly, star, or a sunflower, or a flower might be significant. So, because you never know, like somebody, that wouldn't surprise me if somebody's actually asked to see like a red butterfly today or like an anchor. And so, you know what I mean? It's something like that, right? So this is where I felt these cards would be good. So spiritually, what's some astrology business messages that might be helpful for some people out there? We have, oh, right, I'm geeking out. See what I mean? Look how much this is like picking up my energy. I need that for the thumbnail. The moon. So quite simply, connect with the moon. And we're a few days away from the full moon. So this is what I'm getting at here, right? This might be like New Year's Day and everything, right? But it's more the intensity that I'm feeling is the build up to the full moon a couple of days from now. Like it's and because it's the first full moon of the year as well, it's intense. Like it's not like the Cancer full moon is not a happy, clappy, cheery moon. It just isn't, right? Like it's a lovely, people that I know that have got Cancer moon have got very nurturing, now this is men and women that I know, like very nurturing, loving, kind, good with animals, children, you know, just like good for a hug, all this kind of energy. But it's people that can be very prone to bouts of extreme sadness / depression, soaking up the weight of the world, the pain of the world is how I always describe natal Cancer moons. I've known a lot of other mediums with that placement actually, and yeah, you know what I mean. It's intense because, and what's intense about a Cancer new moon or full moon is the moon actually rules Cancer. So yeah, there's basically a lot about the moon. So I think actually it makes sense for, because it's the wolf moon and the yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out, do I want to, or can I, is it hanging about here? No, I can't see it. I was going to, if it was hanging about, I'm sure I put it somewhere though. I'll get it for one of the other days. But yeah, generally speaking, this is because it's the full moon coming up. So yeah, connect with the moon, connect with your feelings. That's what I'm getting from that. Right, so mentally, what cards have we got for mentally? So the cards I actually want to use, I've only got 3 of them sitting there, so I'll try and find the rest. Let's use these. So, oh my God, rather you than me. Sorry, my sister just texted telling me what they're up to. I'm like, fucking hell, man. No thanks. I hope she's not telling me because she's thinking I'm wanting to go. Oh, dear. It's like when I was looking out the window, I was looking at everybody, you know, giving it Happy New Year and all that, and I'm just kind of like, that is literally the last thing I want to do right now. Like, I want to be alone. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but you can see I'm quite jolly alone, but I'm like, I'm no, I'd be totally fucking forcing it if I was like, Happy New Year. I mean, you can be, I barely even fucking gave music. I did say Happy New Year at the start of the film, but like I said, I'm like, nah. People that know me well know that I just kind of need a few days to adjust. I just want it to be the 5th of January, if truth be told, because it's a Leo moon, and I love Leo moon. And I'm not such a big fan of when the moon's in Cancer, and this is a Cancer full moon, so. You know what? I'm allowed to be miserable sometimes. That's why you're just seeing my hands. So I'm not apologising for it. I'm in my shadow. But I'm in my huge shadow. I'm just being very honest. Right, I'll be happy when I can get back through there with my chocolate and my Sex in the City. Actually, shit, I'm saying that for a reason. So with the start of this, I don't know where it's going to come into it, but the episode that I watched was the one where Big has just split up with his wife and he's like reconnecting with Carrie again. And it's like they fall, basically they go to meet up and they fall in the river and all this. It's quite funny. But it's more like there's something, I channeled this before when I caught it randomly. It's never random, it's going to be part of the message. It's like she's like, how are you doing? And he's like, well, I feel like I've been through a war, but I'm getting there. So I feel that's going to be really relevant too, because he's he's meant to have just split up with his wife, or he's just got a divorce. So I feel that's going to be relevant because it just keeps coming through. It's coming through in the shorts, and it's like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's people breaking up from karmic things here, or dealing with things that have happened long in the past that are coming up. Right? Okay, so and you know, feelings, trauma. Yeah, the moon, trauma, Cancer, blah blah blah, loads of synchronicity. Right, so mentally, trust. You can trust the people around you. They are earth angels sent to give you the guidance you seek. Wow, not a coincidence. There's me calling that nurse an earth angel when I was saying that story. So you know what I mean? Like it's relevant here. There's who are you getting guided to? Trust that God is guiding you, the people that are going to be able to help you, whatever you're needing help with. I could even extend that to, like, it's like, you know, I've had a very quiet Christmas and New Year, but it doesn't surprise me that the people that I've seen in the last few days are two of my close friends, because like I say, like I say this all the time, I would rather be myself or be with like my nearest and dearest. I'm not one for casual acquaintances. I just, you know what I mean? I'm just not. But these are people that pick my energy up. Open your third eye. And because when you are operating like that and you're not closing your eyes to the truth, it's very hard to like be around anyone or anything very fake. It's safe for you to open the centre of your clairvoyance. By doing so, you'll see the truth. Yeah. So mentally, I feel, because remember, to bring it back to, because although they use what I've spoke about at the start with what I went through, it's going to be, this is picking up on however it's going to fit to others too. So, and it's not all going to make sense to everyone, but some of it will make sense to it's meant to. If this is you, whether you're a man or a woman, fine feminine, fine masculine, or you don't even need to be on the twin flame journey if you found this, but more than likely most of you are going to be, because that's who I attract. You can see the truth about something. Your third eye's open. You can't go back to sleep. Side note, you might have a cold or something, because echinacea's good with that, isn't it? But yeah, trust where you're guided to. You can see the truth and trust your intuition. Trust your instincts and your intuition for what's going to help you restore your mind, body, and soul. But there is a new beginning coming. Take this as an opportunity to rise from the ashes stronger and more determined. Again, so after a rough time that you've been recovering from, you're going to return even stronger. And it could be returning in love even stronger. So that's what I'm saying. It's like they're saying to me, for some people this is very current and you've just went through a breakup. For other people it's like this is in the past, but it's like you're clearing the energy of it. Your potential for greater love rests in opening your heart. Blockages and wounds from your past, keyword here, will be healed and you'll be met with the true passion you seek. So it's basically, it's about, you know, it's kind of given that vibe of if you've had a really horrible experience in love, not like writing everyone off as being a total, you can, you know, insert the word. Right, so what's next? Emotionally, some self-care cards. What have we got? Now, the card that was sticking out to me there is priorities, so we'll see if it comes out. But emotionally, what does somebody need to hear? Now, some of these cards are quite funny because it's got things like, well, we'll see if they come out. But I just saw the card that says take a risk. So there's, you know, and I just saw that twice actually. Can't remember what it says, but it's something about take a risk. You won't know unless you try or something. Choices and body. Wow, yeah, that feels so in line with what I've channeled in this. So, worry less about making the right choice and more about being strong enough to handle any outcome. So I like the wording on that because it's like you've got many doors you could walk through. So it's kind of given that vibe of the Seven of Cups. Like you could be quite confused and maybe even under some type of illusion that you've not got a choice. But maybe you're worrying about what everyone else thinks about your life and you need to be strong enough to handle the outcome of the one that you choose for yourself. Which is why I stress every day therapy. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're worrying what everyone else thinks all the time, that kid is going, see, that kid's feeling the full moon. Yeah, they've stopped now, but they were screaming at their mum or dad there. Your body deserves your love. So again, that is not a coincidence. That is like what I was saying about my body has absolutely needed my love and needed a lot of time myself to basically rebalance my nervous system. So I feel some of you might be the same. Right. And what else will we? I think we'll get a nice wee Mother Mary card to go with that too. That goes, that's very Cancer full moon. Our Lady of Sacred Waters. That's funny. I was going to say something about water because I've got lots of mermaid water cards over there, but I don't know. I got a flash of that before it came out. To cleanse oneself spiritually is to immerse oneself in the sanctuary of divine connection and sacred presence. This weakens the grip of our attachment to emotional pain and strengthens our ability to be emotionally authentic without becoming so overwhelmed. There's that word again, overwhelmed by our suffering that we act out and betray our core values and disengage from our spiritual connection. So that feels very linked to like what is making you feel overwhelmed and what are you running away from? What are you unwilling to face? Because that's when people can self-sabotage. Know that you can process any emotion with dignity and grace. So yes, there's a strong emphasis there on not running away from your feelings. And good cards, where are they? Right, so for the physical, this isn't the whole deck either, but these are basically around food. So again, this might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I've had these cards for years and I've used them now and again, but I usually only use them in personal sessions if I'm doing stuff like weight release and that with people. But let's just see what comes out. Hunt down primal hunger. So we've just come out of a 9-year. We're now in a 10-year, which reduces to a 1. So this is about new beginnings, manifestation, to name but a few things. It's like a whole brand new start of a 9 cycle, you know what I mean? Think about a recent time when you got too hungry. What was intense hunger like? Where was it on a scale of from unpleasant to pleasant? Where did you feel it in your body? What circumstances led you into this primal hunger? So that's quite interesting because that reminds me, like, you know, hungry like the wolf. Can't remember the tune of that, but you know, I mean, there's a lot of cards I've got with wolves that are talking about being hungry. So that could even mean like, what are you hungry for in life? Like, what do you desire? What's your primal desires? But this could be about literal hunger too, so you might want to think about all of that. For me personally, what I've noticed, like it's a bit of a tradition. I've not got loads of traditions, but one of my personal traditions is from like Boxing Day to like now, I just like to eat shite, basically. Like, you know, like I just allow myself to have like party food and stuff. But like, I'm not doing that. I'm scrapping that because that is a stupid, like, you know, within reason. Like, if I want to have a sausage roll or something, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is going to sound so Capricorn right now, but it's like, I'm a fucking grown up. I'm in my 40s, and actually, like, that stuff is not good for my system. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel that's why I felt a bit nauseous and not very well and stuff, because I wasn't eating well. And so I made a conscious choice last night. Like, I just, like, I don't know. I was craving apples. So it's like, I had apples yesterday. I was like, I got up and ate an apple. And then I had a wee balance today because I had myself my wee. I've stopped eating bacon a while ago, right? Like, I used to eat bacon every day. I'm not kidding. I fucking love bacon, right? So I still have it every now and again. But again, because it was the holidays, I thought, right, I'll just allow myself to have that. I felt that weighing down my system. But I did have a bacon tatty scone roll, and that was the last one, so I enjoyed it. Um, and then for my lunch day, I just was craving waffles specifically, right? So I had a waffle with like a wee bit of squirty cream, but I had like strawberries. You know what I mean? I was just, again, there you go, like, I'm treating myself like a queen, treating myself like an empress, treating myself like a matter. And also, it's not miserable because it's like a wee bit of fruit, but also a wee bit of, you know, stuff that's like a wee bit of a treat. Because basically, most of the time, I don't eat like that. I eat very, not strictly, but I eat well and I eat healthy. And, but what my point is that although I could do that again this time next year, I don't think I'm gonna, because I just feel it's definitely going to have something to do with the fact that I just finished that fast. It's, you know, I wouldn't say it's like it's undone my good work, but, and I did sort of think about that. I thought the timing of that isn't good, but it's kind of like, you know, you live and you learn, and it's like, but you are what you eat. Sorry, it may be a bit boring, but it's true. That's basically my point. You are what you eat, and it's like, I've not even really been. I've got tons of chocolate. I've not even really been that mad about the chocolate. Although, in saying that, I do feel like I'm wanting a bit of chocolate now. But it's probably because I haven't. Like, for the few days I could have really been going to town on loads of chocolate and taking it. I just haven't really fancied it. But anyway, whatever. So, honor your hunger. Honor your hunger. And that's a little bit like when I'm talking about fasting and stuff. That's what I do. See, when I'm fasting, if I start to feel really hungry, but like, and I'm starting to feel not well, nothing's worth that. I eat. So that's my. You might think, oh, but that happens every single time. It doesn't. Well, it doesn't to me anyway. Not when you prepare your mind. You discipline, prime your mind for doing it for however long you're going to do it. I usually 9 times out of 10 can do it for however long I've wanted to do it for. That last time being the biggest example of that, because I'd set myself the task of a week and I'd never done that before, and I'd done it no bother. So, and I just picked up that too. Prepare for self-care. There's a lot about self-care today. Make a plan for self-care, nourishment for times when your hunger cues are offline, perhaps because of stress, distraction, or illness. How curate a list of easy meal snacks, just a practical plan of foods to eat there. Now, you can, oh look, and also we're in the 10-year, love it, after I just said that. But now you can take what you want from that, but that's kind of like, I done that in advance. But again, the things that I made in advance aren't particularly healthy. Like, I made macaroni. But again, I'm still going to have it, right? I'm going to allow myself to have macaroni and chips because I love it. It's comfort food. And then I'm going to have sausage, beans and chips in a couple of days on the full moon because I want it. And then when we get into Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to get back on track because I want to get back on track my goals. And right now, as I'm saying this, I'm cringing because I'm actually sounding like one of these health coaches. But it's by the way, that people that do that are great. And in a lot of ways, I am that too with how I help. Yeah, 100%. I help people with things like this all the time. But it's like, I really did sound like it there, because it's like, if you ever watch any, whether it's men or women, I follow loads of these people that they all say things like that, you know, just do what you want and then just get back to what you usually do. And I'm basically saying the same thing. Like, that's definitely, but it's just that I've definitely noticed that for myself, that I'm like, oh my God, I feel like crap because I've been eating crap. You know what I mean? It's really pretty simple. So I hope nobody else is resonating, but I'm sure people will be. It's like Gillian McKeith said all those years, you are what you eat. So I'm aware I already said that, but I said it again. Right, so now lastly, how long has this been? Lastly, we're going to do some money cards. So, I didn't use any of them. Okay, they want me to use some of these. Let's see what comes out. Physically, become a clear channel. I thought that was going to come out. And you notice how that's interesting that that's coming out after I've just been saying you are what you eat. You'll, like, because this can be literally like, you know, if people that do similar to me, like, you'll notice if you're not eating right and you're not sleeping right, you're not basically doing what you usually do that serves you, you might not feel as on the ball. But for other people in different ways, I feel this could be as well, that it's like, because the first card was about being all over the place, you know, in order to be able to see clearly through this foggy energy that's about, yeah, you need to do all the things that are just obvious. You need to make necessary sacrifices. Like, okay, you've had your time at eating whatever you want to eat, for pigging out on the treats and the savoury treats, the sweet treats, the booze, the whatever. Maybe now it's time to, you know, make a plan to go back to what serves you. Make a plan. Yeah, make a plan. Accept what is dying. And I feel what is dying in some people is, like, perhaps it feels like the part of your inner child that wanted to act out. Like, I can eat that if I want. Discover your divine feminine. Like, discovering your inner divine feminine is about taking better care of yourself. And I wasn't even going to be using that back until one of the videos a bit later on. But anyway, so definitely something about making a plan there. So like I said, I was making my plans before I started filming these. And my plan was to film about 7 videos today, and we're only on day 1. So the the plan has failed. It's not failed because I will still film more, but I'll just take my time. Right. So see, there's definitely something about time with how things haven't stuck to my time schedule. But as I was saying that, I kept looking at that. Right, so let's get a wee money message. So same with everything else. It's going to make sense to someone if it doesn't make sense to you. But these cards I feel can make sense to anyone. Let's see. Savings and sever vows of poverty and windfall of abundance. And I always think that's including debts. I want them all. So I always feel that's quite interesting when the Santa card comes up when it's just been Christmas, because, you know, I could be using these at any time of day. But I feel like I'm going to read the words, but I feel that's really quite simple. A lot of you could have used up your savings or overspent, right? Which has kind of fucked up your money a little bit and put you into debt because of Christmas. I don't even need to read the word. That's definitely what it's going to be for a lot of people. So it's about making a plan to clear the debt now that you've got into over Christmas. Because everyone does it, you know what I mean? Everyone does it on whatever scale. Not everyone, sorry. I can't say everyone, but a lot of people do it. You know what I mean? Like, we feel like we have to spend more on the food shop. I spoke about that in one of the lives. And again, it's, you know, I'm glad I didn't really go to town on that, because I haven't eaten half the stuff I got. It's in the freezer. And now look what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't even want to eat that stuff because I've noticed it's not been good for my system. As you consistently save for your future's saved. You do your future self a big favour as you consistently set aside present funds. This is part of your self-care and path to feeling secure as you focus upon your life purpose. An increase in abundance is arriving in many different forms. Some of them are unexpected. Be open to receiving and know that this is your abundance comes to you support your life purpose, health, charitable work. Although I'm not big on Santa, what I do feel about that is it's like when I said in one of the shorts, it doesn't, you know, whenever the stuff that you want comes in, whether it's love, money, success, it all comes at once. It's going to feel like all your Christmases, birthdays, New Year's have all come at once. I feel it's kind of that. So sever your vows to poverty. Dear one, there's no need to suffer or sacrifice. Hold the intention of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial. Oh, that connects with these. That you may have made, consciously or unconsciously, in any lifetime. As you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions of time. So we're putting out that prayer. It's what I basically do for people all the time in personal sessions. Clearing debts. Now, that's interesting. That card's looking very similar to this. And to me, the Pegasus is one of my guides at my higher chakras. So that really is about transcending what's been holding you back. But also, this is the unicorns or the Pegasus, or it's like a variation of the horse. And this is the year of the horse. Not until 17th of February, but your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial, emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan again to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of repeating words there. There's a lot of repeating words that I've seen. So I'm getting a bit fed up now because I've been doing this for ages. So right, so let's now finish this off with one of these crystal cards, and it'll be interesting if the selenite comes out again, or let's just see. I'll need to look away because they've got something on both sides. Oh, one of the ones that I don't know so well. So, atacamite. Deep turquoise green, green-black, matrix of tiny crystals, and it's rare. So self-motivation, cleansing, enthusiasm. And I would say, like, it's quite funny because those of you that are very attuned to me in particular, you will have noticed how my energy started quite flat, and then as I channeled, like, my energy picked up, and now, you know what I mean? Now I'm a wee bit more jollier, a wee bit more myself, and that's what I mean by there are just some people we're so connected to our work and our calling, you know, it lifts me up. So also, I can guarantee whatever this says on the other side, I bet you it's going to scarily link into everything I've channeled, because that's how these cards always work with me. It's so weird. That's how any cards work, but these ones in particular, it'll be exactly what I've just spoke about. Because these cards I use in my chakra soul empowerment reading that I've been doing for, like I said, 11 years this year. So that's one of my bigger sessions, which is more like a package, and we can do it over 2 sessions, or we can do it in one big sitting, but it'll be hours, like hours and hours. Anyway, let's see. So, working with our sense of self, atacamite's energy encourages independence and awareness. Its dynamic energy links strongly with the heart chakra and anahata, bringing enthusiasm and motivation to all we do. It brings love into our lives in many forms, helping us to learn to differentiate between our ego's needs and those of greater service. See how I spoke about being a service? In this way, it expands our vision, earthly and spiritual, and it helps us to see further and with greater compassion. Atacamite is useful for astral work and all forms of visualization meditation, promoting safety and clarity in our quests, allowing us to truly understand ourselves and be able to express and achieve our dreams and goals. It promotes trust and a willingness to explore the higher realms and astral guidance. The word trust was one of the cards. Can be used to stimulate chi or energy flows through the body, especially useful for thyroid and nervous system. I spoke about the nervous system. Helps to relieve stress and nervous disposition. It also works with the immune system and heart. Its higher energy helps purify elimination organs and works with the genitals too. So, divinatory meaning. Drawing this card indicates it's time to add some energy and drive to achieving our dreams. How can you bring forward a sense of enthusiasm and expansiveness into your purpose? And I feel that does bring it full circle, because what I'd said at the start was, I'm doing this to pick my energy up as well as yours, and it has. So I hope you've felt the healing energy of that as well, because I have, quite clearly. Okay, so let's end it with a wee affirmation. So have a lovely rest of your start of the year whenever you watch this. And yes, thank you for your likes, hypes, comments. I will get back to the comments when I get back to stuff next week. If not before, if I might feel guided to reply before. We'll just see. But I think it'd probably be better if I just leave it until I've got more energy. But I will get back to you at this point. So comment, and yeah, strength, love it. And then look. What did I say? Cancer moon's like carrying the weight of the world, and there's somebody carrying the world. So I hope you're not carrying the world, because you don't need to do that. We're all part of the greater whole. Just do your bit. You matter by being here. I have deep inner strength and glorious vitality and peace. Now, this is quite interesting, because what I was actually going to say was I was going to pull one for the masculine and the feminine and the masculine, and that looks like a masculine and a feminine. So, peace. I breathe deeply, knowing that all is well in my universe. And then we've got communication and 2 hands reaching out to one another. So this, like I said, with this extra dreamy energy, this could be all energetically in the astral realms, just for a change. Yep, I know. I'm not one of these people that's like, oh my God, you're always, well, I am that too, because it's true. You know, you're always connected, and it's like boring. Capricorn's about the physical, you know what I mean? It needs to be a reality. But so this could be in reality too. This could be people connecting in actual reality, but in other cases, you're always connecting telepathically and astrally. So I communicate from my heart, and love surrounds me and protects me. Emerging. I am emerging into the light with joy and ease. My life is deliciously joyous, pleasurable. Like, sorry, I just spat all over the card. I don't know if you saw that. Bruce Almighty. That's very Cancer full moon, because I always say it's cuppa, cozy, cuddles. I step into my glorious future with determination and power. Action. Truth. I live my truth. Sorry, I couldn't stop pulling them. Right, so, sorry, not sorry. That's me done. I'm going to now have a wee cup of tea before I film the next one, or I'll just lose momentum. But yeah, I'll get this one uploaded and see you in the next one.